Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 25. Still the final episode before Over the Limit, and what a matchup we've got coming later on in the evening. If CM Punk isn't going to be talked out of this match, then it's going to be CM Punk versus Kurt Angle, but you gotta wonder what the condition of CM Punk is going to be. Commissioner's been in the backstage all night long trying to talk him out of it and try and persuade him otherwise, because he's only recently come back from a concussion. Nevertheless, we'll get to that later. Another huge matchup here tonight on the final episode before Over the Limit pay-per-view. RTruth set to go one-on-one with Kofi Kingston. These two men have been on a collision course, and speaking of which, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And immediately, Kofi Kingston really going after RTruth now. Truth is in trouble at the moment, and look at Kofi all over RTruth. These past few weeks, Kofi Kingston has been humiliated at the hands of RTruth, and Kofi Kingston not even allowing this match to start. There's a trouble in paradise. Kick to the skull that almost knocks him out. We're barely in a minute into this segment, and RTruth's been knocked out by Kofi Kingston. Kofi, where's he going? Oh my lord, he's got a table. RTruth has humiliated Kofi Kingston the past couple of weeks. Ever since losing the tag team titles, these two former friends, former tag champs, have now become brutal enemies. And what is Kofi doing right now? Boom drop through the table, breaking his body in half. I didn't even hear a bell. I didn't even hear a bell to signify the start of this matchup. This is a match that had been advertised earlier on in the program, but this match didn't even get to start. RTruth was decimated before he even entered the ring. Kofi Kingston tonight has proven that the past couple of weeks, RTruth's revolution has not come to fruition. He is definitely not in the mood right now. This is what Kofi Kingston did. He brutalized him up until this point, where he hit the boom drop through the table. RTruth was left in a heap. He still is. And of course, it's been the past few weeks. RTruth has cost Kofi Kingston and his partner Sin Cara tag matches. He's decimated superstar after superstar in his attempt to play mind games with his former friend and former tag team partner in Kofi Kingston. But that's all they are. The key word, former friends. They are no longer friends anymore, they're enemies, and nonetheless, it was evident here tonight. Kofi Kingston not even allowing this matchup to start, brutalizing RTruth, and for the first time since Destruction even, Kofi Kingston has had his number. Well, there's those same eerie images we saw on Metal. I wonder what that's going to lead to. Nevertheless, we know what's going to lead to. Up next, it's going to be Art of Carnage, about to make his way to the ring, the Intercontinental Champion Chris Jericho, and this Sunday at Over the Limit, he has to defend his championship in his first official championship matchup. His first title defense is against the former champion Chris Benoit. It was back at Destruction where Chris Jericho won that title in a submission match, but Chris Benoit never submitted. He passed out before he tapped out in the walls, and that's how Chris Jericho won that title he holds today. And shortly afterwards, it's been pretty chaotic, especially this past week on Metal, where Chris Jericho was up against Raven in a matchup. Raven brought in the table. Chris Benoit off to shake the hand of him like the week before, but I'm sure you already know this. Nevertheless, it ended with Chris Jericho being powerbombed for a table by Chris Benoit. And although he's not most popular superstar in the world, he's certainly got his fans in attendance, as you've just seen. And it will be a 3 Stages of Hell match, and that's why he's got the ladder in the ring right now.
Attempt to rewrite history in an effort to, in his words, permanently disfigure me and take my championship away, convinced to make our match championship ladder match.
Fall free if needed. Sunday at Over the Limit.
And then another one of his typical boastful, hypocritical, lying statements claimed that he revolutionized the ladder match. And like the brainless sycophants that you are, the mindless sheep that you are, you all blindly believed what he said. Here's a news flash for you. Doesn't mean that it's true. And conversely, when Chris Jericho tells you something, you know that it's real, because I am an honest man. I am a good man. And I always tell the truth. And here's some truth for you right now. I have won 3 separate championships in a ladder match. I have won more high-profile ladder matches than he's ever appeared in his entire life. And here's some more truth for you. When the match is through, the very last thing that you will all see is this.
Well, Chris Jericho's awful confident. That much is certain. As he holds that championship, he holds high.
Chris Jericho, still champion.
But will that confidence turn to fear right now? Look who's about to make his way to the ring. His opponent in that 3 stages of hell match, Chris Benoit. Remember, it's going to be 3 stages of hell at Over the Limit. Fall 1's going to be submissions count anywhere. Fall 2's going to be a tables match. And fall 3 if needed, a ladder match, and that's why he's got the ladder in the ring. But Chris Jericho don't want to fight Benoit. Benoit, ruthless, but look at this! And a cheap shot by Chris Jericho, just ramming that ladder into his skull, and now going on the assault with that ladder, using it as a weapon. And if he continues this assault, there may not even be a fall 3. A ladder match may not even be needed. But Chris Jericho is using that ladder to flip and assault the ribs of Chris Benoit. Benoit's having his ribs taken care of courtesy of Jericho, and now look at this. The walls of Jericho in that ladder. And he needs to let go of this. Chris Benoit's out of it. His ribs have been completely decimated here in front of our very eyes. He's out. Just like at Destruction when he was knocked out in the walls. He's been knocked out courtesy of Chris Jericho and that vicious assault with a ladder. It's going to be 3 stages of hell at Over the Limit. It's going to be submissions count anywhere, tables match, and if needed, a ladder match. But there's a big if. Will Chris Benoit even make it? And if he does make it, will a fall 3 even be needed? Will Chris Jericho get the job done in the first 2 falls? Chris Benoit has certainly been on the wrong end of the deal here. Chris Jericho, Intercontinental Champ for now.
And I don't know why he still wants to go through with it, but he does, and I couldn't convince him otherwise, so I'm sorry that I've had to put you in this position to go and wrestle a man with concussion, but all I can say now is just please go easy on him. I know you're undefeated, I know you've not been pinned, I know you've not been submitted in an LW yet, but I just need you to do this one favour for me. When you're out there in that ring, don't take any crap, don't take any notice of AJ Styles if he decides to show up before your match at Over the Limit against him. Just make sure that CM Punk is not severely hurt after your match, because he's fragile. And I don't want to sound like I'm trying to protect him or wrap him in bubble wrap or whatever you think I'm trying to do, because quite frankly he's willing to knock your teeth down your throat, and the same with AJ Styles, even more so. I don't know how he got wrapped up in this feud, but he's obviously eager to compete, and even though the doctors say he's cleared, I don't really want to risk it. Please, 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 Mr. Angle, try and go easy on him. I can't have another injury on my hands.
Angle complying.
Jeez, think of the lawsuits.
Think of the lawsuits. CM Punk at least is scheduled to go up against Kurt Angle next. And I've got to add on what he's just said, you know, he clearly does not want CM Punk competing here tonight, but whether he likes it or not, he is. And he's about to go one-on-one with the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. Angle is about to make his way to the ring, and he knows he's got to get a crucial victory here tonight. He is undefeated. He's never been pinned or submitted, and tonight goes up against CM Punk. Well, he certainly has his fans in attendance here tonight. Does Angle. Add over the limit. Kurt Angle will go one-on-one with AJ Styles. He made the challenge on episode 23, and whether or not it was accepted by AJ Styles. So it's going to be Styles vs Angle at the pay-per-view, and he radiates confidence now. Kurt Angle's never been pinned or submitted. Is that going to change here tonight? Only time will tell, but he's been told to go easy on this guy. CM Punk coming out here to a huge ovation as always, but you know what, I've got to be wary of his health. This is his first match back since defeating Randy Orton at Destruction, but the injury he suffered was after that matchup. Randy Orton, in a fit of rage, he lost the matchup after being rolled up by CM Punk at Destruction, and that meant that Orton goes on a rampage and basically kicks the head in of CM Punk, a Punk kick right to Punk's skull, and that means that CM Punk's not even been competing since then even. That is why the commissioner is so concerned here tonight. Him and a lot of these fans, I think, feel that him coming back from concussion this soon is a little bit detrimental to CM Punk's health, but he's certainly confident here tonight. Commissioner tried to convince him otherwise, tried to convince him not to compete here tonight. However, regardless of what the commissioner's views are, CM Punk is competing here tonight, and he is damn confident as well. Even though the commissioner went, as this matchup gets underway, Kurt Angle is going to go up against CM Punk here tonight, but Angle's been told, at least by the commissioner, partially to try and, well, keep the health and well-being of CM Punk under control, but I'm sure Angle's not going to do that. Look at this. But Punk still wrestling with the best of them, and there's a cover and a kick out following the arm drag. An incredible matchup here tonight before Kurt Angle is scheduled to go up against AJ Styles at Over the Limit. Here's a go behind by Angle, and we're going to see a German suplex early on here. Looks that way, but oh wait. Oh, look who it is. Just like last week, CM Punk was on commentary, and now AJ Styles, Angle's opponent's out here, and what's this about? I mean, it's great to have you out here. I mean, we had CM Punk out here last week, but you know, what have you got to say personally to comment on the accusations of this on-again, off-again relationship with both CM Punk and Kurt Angle? You worked with Punk in the Indies. What's your take on this on-again, off-again relationship?
On-again, off-again? I don't really know what you're talking about. Honestly, you've had friends before, I'm sure. I don't know how many you got now, but look, friends argue, we'll get over it, we put it in the past. It's not a big deal. Well,
to be fair, you say it's not a big deal, but, you know, there's obviously some mistrust there. We saw that this past week on Metal when you decked out Kurt Angle with a briefcase.
What are you know what? I don't know what you're talking about, mistrust, because honestly, it seems like to me that the guy wants something from me. He's always coming around, always putting his nose in my business, and that's, you know, that doesn't sit well with me. I don't know what his deal is.
Well, it may not sit well with you, but it's certainly not sitting well with Punk at the moment. Look at this, he's going through the ropes and the dive to the outside. I'm sorry to cut you off there, AJ, but CM Punk with an incredible athletic maneuver, and you just saw diving through the ropes at Kurt Angle at speed, high velocity. And Punk, you may have your problems with an AJ, but he's mighty confident, especially considering he has concussion. I think he landed right on his head. There you see it, landing right on his head. And now he's on the tightrope. He's on the tightrope again, and now going after Angle with a crossbody. Here's another cover and a kick out by Angle. Look, to be fair, you were the one who accepted this challenge, and that's why I don't know what he wants with you. Maybe he wants to wrestle you, that's probably it.
Well, nobody comes around unless they want
Doesn't mean you have to hit the man in the skull with a briefcase. I don't understand this metamorphosis of your character. I don't know why you suddenly changed like this, AJ. What's happened?
No clue. You want, because what? We're around each other all the time? Because you commentate while I'm in the ring, busting my butt, make sure I keep a job? You think you know me? Well, let me tell you a little about AJ Styles. Now, I'm sure it was fashionable when you were growing up to have a black and white TV. Well, it wasn't when I was growing up. But that's all we had. In the trailer, with a kerosene in it, where it could have burnt down around me. That's the way it was.
You know, I still got a match to call, but I'm sorry if I called you out or embarrassed you. I just wanted to get down to why you've changed like this, AJ. I know you've had a tough upbringing.
Embarrass me? You know nothing about embarrassment. Would it embarrass you if you were sick at home? What, around 7 years old and your parents couldn't even be at home with you?
Well, yeah, but to be fair, oh my goodness, what a moonsault by Kurt Angle anyway, and now Angle's really going after the one with the concussion. CM Punk's in trouble, and look, AJ, I mean, yeah, well, you're past that now. You got your money in the bank briefcase. You got all this power in your hands, AJ. I can help.
Help me? Does it look like I need your help? Where were you back then? Where were you years ago when I really needed somebody? Nobody was there. I didn't need nobody then. And I don't need anybody now. Do you know me?
I'm just trying to do my damn job. I'm sorry, AJ.
Let's talk about wrestling. That's it. Nothing else. Something that I love to do. Wrestling.
Yeah, we'll talk about wrestling. We'll talk about wrestling. CM Punk just hit the knee in the corner, the running knee, but Angle preventing the Bulldog, and there's a back suplex by Kurt Angle. And now he's got the leg hook. And I'm sorry I haven't been calling this match to the best of my ability thus far. I mean, these two have an incredible matchup. But of course, you're out here, AJ, and you've got your own opinions about both of these guys. We've seen that evident in the past, but regardless of your issues with CM Punk, you're not going one-on-one with Punk at Over the Limit. You're going one-on-one with Kurt Angle. And well, thanks for leaving me, but CM Punk's going to hit the GTS. But Kurt Angle goes behind again, and a German suplex. Good grief, what a release by Kurt Angle, and as you saw there, AJ's just left my commentary position. But even though CM Punk is fragile, especially considering he's coming back from concussion so soon, he's doing well for himself at the moment. Kurt Angle is down on the floor at the moment, and he's certainly confident, but Kurt Angle gets him, and grabbing him, and there's the ankle lock. Ankle lock submission by Kurt Angle. Is CM Punk gonna continue to be yet another name on the list of men that Kurt Angle has beaten? CM Punk may very well have to tap out. He's obviously holding his head. The concussion is delving in, but there's the reach to the ropes, and AJ's still out here. You obviously heard what he had to say. He's a very troubled individual, apparently. Of course, I didn't know this. I don't know him well enough. I probably should have, but there's a drop. What a kick to the skull, but a kick up by Kurt Angle. But this is out of nowhere, oh my! But an anaconda vice. Is Kurt Angle going to tap out? Is CM Punk going to be the first man to defeat Kurt Angle? And look at this. But he's back up, and look at the strength of Kurt Angle, and the angle slam. Here's the cover. And the win by Kurt Angle. What strength by Kurt Angle in that maneuver to lift Punk off the floor from the anaconda vice and hit his finisher, the angle slam, to get another victory and build even more momentum. If I were you, AJ, I'd be worried. Kurt Angle has not been beaten yet, but is AJ Styles going to be the first man to do so? He has defeated CM Punk here tonight, albeit a weakened CM Punk. And although Kurt Angle tried, as he did, to make sure that Punk wasn't totally injured, I'm sure that he don't want his... I mean, Punk's a friend of Angle's, but he surely doesn't want to hurt him. But then again, that angle slam may have done it. CM Punk is angry he's lost, but first match back from concussion, you got to expect a loss anyway. Especially when you're going up against Kurt Angle, and there you see AJ Styles, Mr. Money in the Bank, looking Kurt Angle in the eyes. At Over the Limit, it's going to be Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles. But is Styles willing to get in the ring with Kurt Angle right now? Angle wants to get into his face, but instead he goes away. Angle and AJ will go up against each other at the pay-per-view, but AJ says, not tonight. Kurt Angle picks up a huge victory over CM Punk, albeit a weakened concussion syndrome like CM Punk, but it's going to be Styles versus Angle at the pay-per-view. Speaking of the pay-per-view, the main event's going to be for the world title, triple threat for the world title, even. It's going to be Triple H and Sting taking on The Undertaker and Kane after the break, before Taker, Sting and Triple H battle for the title at the pay-per-view. Huge tag team encounter. Our main event is next week, part 3, coming up soon.